of a little bit of a late start today. Yes, I am, but it's all good. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Come on in. Come on in. Like the video. Like the video. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing. Let's go ahead and do the disclaimer as I finish setting up. So copyright disclaimer, under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. So yes, come on in, come on in. We're going to do a few hot topics, trending topics, talk about what's going on, what we're hearing, what's trending, different things like that. I'll probably get back to the Diddy situation probably tomorrow, but let's talk politics because we have to, kind of, sort of. Many people are reacting to the election. Many people are responding. Yesterday there was people that were screaming. I wasn't going to post that. That's bad energy. Nobody wants that. What people have to realize that there's a lot going on in the world. A decision had to be made, and people went out and voted. Whether they told people who they voted for or not, or they announced who they were voting for, there's a lot that has to be cleaned up. Clean up on aisle 9, 10, and 11. There's a lot that has to be cleaned up. So we're going to talk hot topics, trending topics. We're going to get into some politics, but let's get into we're kind of going to go back and forth, and then we're going to get into the video. Did you know that the Canadian government ordered TikTok to shut down local offices in the country? Good morning. Late start, girl. Late start. I'm being pulled in 6 different directions, and I said, no, not today. No, can't happen. I haven't even did my lines, everybody. Can't do it. Can't do it. Gotta say no. Oh, the things I do. But God is so good. Oh, Paris. Come on in, everybody. Yes, girlfriend getting late. I normally try and go live at 8, 9, 10. Latest 11. So for me to be live 1:40, woo-wee. But the good thing is things are done. There's a few other things I got to take care of. It's only going to take me 30 minutes, but it's been a busy morning. Busy morning. Praying for my friends that need me, but girl, I got things to do. Yeah, I appreciate that. I be trying. That's why my phone be blowing up. I need your attention. Hold on, hold on. What's going on? Let's okay. My boyfriend be like, I don't know how you do it. And I'd be like, I don't know either. I don't know either. Had to talk to this one, calm them down. Had to talk to this one, calm them down. Put that fire out. Put that fire out. Then I'm live. Hello, everybody. They didn't want me to be live. They didn't want me to be live, but I said I can't. I cannot. I got stuff to do. Okay. Yeah, we're going to talk Biden. We're going to talk politics. We're going to talk about, there was a young lady that spoke out. Let me pull that. Let me pull that. There was a young lady that spoke out this morning. And even I was in the midst of running errands. I was like, well, hold up. She a little mad at Trump. Let's get that. Let's get that clip. That clip. She's like, she was prepared and she was surprised that everybody voted that way. Where's that clip? Let's listen to this lady. Okay, let me see. Okay, so it is the New York Attorney General speaking out, and she is preparing for a fight. So I'm gonna just let her tell y'all what her thoughts and feelings were. I was like, ooh, I wish I had my tablet right now.
I congratulate the President-elect Donald Trump. And if possible, we will work with his administration.
If possible.
But we will not compromise our values or our integrity.
All right, come through.
Or our principles.
All right.
We did not expect this result. But we are prepared to respond to this result.
All right.
And my office has been preparing for several months because we've been here before. We faced this challenge before. And we used the rule of law to fight back. And we are prepared to fight back once again. Because as the Attorney General of this great state, it is my job to protect and defend the rights of New Yorkers and the rule of law. And I will not shrink from that responsibility.
All right.
And lastly, I congratulate the President-elect Donald.
So we got to keep an eye on this New York Attorney General. I'm gonna play it again. We got to keep an eye on her. So there might be some stuff coming down the pipe. Yeah, she talking about fighting back. Okay, we're gonna listen again.
The President-elect Donald Trump. And if possible, we will work with his...
Okay, so I agree, Paris. What does that exactly mean? Y'all got to remember, he has his own legal stuff going on. And they did not expect this man to win because they thought everybody was going to be like, he got this legal issue, he got that legal issue. And then I think they allegedly pushed it back. So she not happy that he won. And then you got to remember, people were trying to take him out. Why y'all trying to take the man out? Like I said to somebody literally about 2 hours ago, Trump gonna get in there. He got a lot of cleaning up to do. Clean up on aisle 9, 10, 11, and 12. He do. He got a lot of cleanup to do. And I've said it before. Kamala had 100 days, 107 days. But then you got all these people coming still over the border. We saw her take a picture, but girl, we needed you to stop these people from coming over here. Trump got a lot of stuff to do regarding the tariffs, regards to us sending money over to places, and there's just so much. There's so much. Many people felt that Kamala's team possibly might have steered her in the wrong direction. She had all these celebrities, and I wonder if she regrets having all those celebrities that did not help her over the hump. And from the numbers, people voted. They made a choice. And it wasn't that big of a close race. There was some cities and states she won and she did pretty good, but people are kind of tired. Like, it's different if she wasn't in office. She was in office for almost 4 years. And people are struggling. Gas, food prices. There's so much stuff that's going on. And y'all got to remember, wasn't the shipping container places about to go on strike? And then they delayed it to January, February, possibly. Take it with a grain of salt. But there's so much going on that he has to clean up on aisle 9, 10, 11, and 12. There's so much going on. And then you have The View and other people speaking out. And Trump has his issues. Not like Biden, not like Kamala. But Trump has his own issues that he's dealing with. And then you got what happened at the Capitol. There's just a lot of stuff going on, y'all. It's a mess. And for me, I always say a hot mess. When I say a hot mess, it's a hot mess. Other countries are looking at us like, what in the world? What in the world? Mm-hmm. Yes, most of those celebrities were at the parties. So they was trying to distract. But we not going to get distracted. So we caught that. I told y'all, people are going to try and distract. They're going to try and take trips out of the country. They're going to try and do stuff. And I told y'all this. They're going to be doing stuff. We're going to be like, that don't make no sense. Why you with that person? Why you taking pictures? It's to distract. Like I said, I be trying so hard not to throw out names. But until that trial happens and until we see that name in the transcript, you ain't going to get me caught up in no lawsuit. You got me twisted. And I see these pages saying this, saying that. Because I almost played Courtney Burgess talking about the different celebrities. And we're gonna have to do a deeper dive into Courtney Burgess. Because he been saying stuff here, and some of it's a little contradictory. But yeah, some of them celebrities had a little bit to do with the diddler. I caught that tea. So I'm wondering if Kamala regrets allegedly paying all those people that money to speak at her rallies. Some people feel her team led her down the wrong path. Some people feel. So yes, press 3 if you're new, where you're watching from. Press 3 if you're new, where you're watching from. Thanks for being here, everyone. We're definitely going to listen to this clip in regards to Kamala. We're definitely going to listen to Biden. Since Biden is up here first, let's listen to him and what he has to say. And in regards to Kamala's speech, one of my friends called me late yesterday. And she said, let me ask you this. I was like, what's up, girl? She said, how many times she said fight? I don't know how many times she said fight, but she said a lot of times. She said, do you think when a person don't know really what to say and they have to drag out a speech, they'll use one or two words to constantly say? I said, you picked that up there too, girl. You noticed that? She kept saying fight, 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 fight. I was like, okay, Kamala, we caught that, T. Smart lady, but we need someone business savvy, smart, bright, and intelligent. I ain't knocking her. I'm not knocking her. But if it was like a Hillary, Trump might have had a little run for his money. So let's get to this clip and what Biden's saying.
America, since our very founding, has always been an ongoing debate and still vital today. I know for some people, it's a time for victory, to state the obvious. For others, it's a time of loss. Campaigns are contests of competing visions. The country chooses one or the other. We accept the choice the country made. I've said many times, you can't love your country only when you win. You can't love your neighbor only when you agree. Something I hope we can do, no matter who you voted for, is see each other not as adversaries, but as fellow Americans. Bring down the temperature.
I catch that, T. Paris,
also,
too.
we can lay to rest the question about the integrity of the American electoral system. It is honest, it is fair, and it is transparent. And it can be trusted, win or lose.
So,
the struggle for the soul of America, since our very founding.
Let me go back. So let me find the one that I caught that T2 Paris. I sure did. Let me see where's hers. Hold on. And don't get me wrong, she's a successful Kamala's a successful lady. She's done a lot, to get to where she's at. So I'm not knocking her. I feel that she's smart, but we needed somebody that was smart, bright, intelligent, and know the politics of it all, and someone business savvy. Whenever we can listen to a podcaster outspeak Kamala, that's a concern. Whenever we can hear news media outspeak Kamala, that's a concern. Trump got his own issues. Y'all see, I say his name sometimes I don't. When we look at the makeup of a person, you have to have so many different levels of, and I just don't think that Americans were ready for a woman. If it was gonna be a woman, she had to be on her toes. When she do interviews, she own it. She not late for interviews. She taking every interview she can. People are not walking out of rallies. You're not thinking that Beyonce's gonna perform and she not performing. You're gonna have people speak on your behalf. You're not going to have entertainers that got their own stuff. People talked about Eminem, what his background got. People talk about Megan Thee Stallion, the Tory Lanez situation, and then she throwing up different hand signals. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Gorilla. She got to bleep out different things. And like you said, Paris, we noticed that some of these people might have been interacting with X, Y, and Z. Then you got Kelly Rowland, beautiful girl. What was she wearing? I saw somebody else wear something that was big and interesting. These media people love to get a reaction. They do stuff to trend. They do stuff to go viral. So sometimes we'll be like, let the message speak for itself. Let the message be louder than your outfit. And then you got to remember, you guys, for 2 months, they talked about her culture and race. What does that matter? The politics of it all. Her policies would matter. They had people twisted. They did. And then they were saying Trump ain't talking policy at all. And y'all letting him get away with XYZ. But he business savvy. So when he get in there, so there's just a lot going on. You got people crying that he won. What does that do for them? What does that do? You're making it personal. What does that do for you crying that he won? There's a mess that needs to be cleaned up all around. If people say Kamala did her best, Joe did his best, then that's what it is. If they say Trump might not be able to do as much because this person may not let this go through, that it is what it is. I just know right now things are a mess. And if you know, then you know. My channel, I do hot topics, trending topics, and we do general overview of stuff. But if you know, then you know that there's a lot of concerns in the world, not just food prices, not just gas prices, not just, the immigrants is a huge issue, because if people are getting thousands and thousands of dollars a month, and then you got somebody that's paid taxes for 50, 60, 80 years, and they struggling to get groceries. Do you know how many people I have to bless per month? And just saying, here's an extra $5. You should see the how they light up in their face. It's almost like she's paying for half of what I needed today. That means I can come back tomorrow and get more items. People are struggling. People are struggling. Mentally, physically, they are drained. And this is the one thing. A lot of people are working extra hours, so they're stressed out. A lot of people are working extra hours. They're stressed out. I have a girl that's going into nursing. She's so stressed out. Some of her friends want to quit. I have friends that was working late hours, and then the bosses are trying to get them to work more hours. It's like, dude, I'm struggling just to be here right now. People are struggling mentally. Real talk. Real talk. And the blessing is, I talk to people that know the man above. They say, I got to be here, stay here, and I got to work through this. Yes. Yes. And then I have a lot of positive. I only got a few that I kind of got to keep an eye on. You all right over there? You good? But people are struggling, you guys. People are struggling. Yeah, please be nice in the chat. I'm not even looking at it. I'm just kind of, but yeah, there's just a lot going on, y'all. There's a lot going on. And I pray for people to figure out what they need to do. Okay, so let's get to, and understand things will get better. Hopefully. Things have to get better. They do. Let's see. So here's Kamala.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So let me say, and I love you back. And I love you back.
Yeah, be kind in the comments. So YouTube will block you.
My heart is full today. My heart is full today, full of gratitude for the trust you have placed in me, full of love for our country, and full of resolve. The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for, but hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright. As long as we never give up, and as long as we keep fighting. Good afternoon.
So they must have only did part of her speech. That's fine. Let's go over here. Like the video.
And the way we ran it planned rally here growing somber as the returns came in. Her remarks postponed, her supporters stunned.
It wasn't shock. It was more just disappointment that this is who we are as a country.
She rode a wave of Democratic enthusiasm after President Biden dropped out of the race this summer, touting endorsements from some of the world's biggest celebrities. But there are mounting questions about some of Harris's campaign strategies as she faced brutal headwinds. Senator Bernie Sanders writing, "It should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party which has abandoned working class people would find that the working class has abandoned them." And with exit polls showing three...
Some people think that the election was stolen. Huh? People think that? And if there's areas that they have to recount, they'll recount. I think a friend had said a certain area might have to recount. Oh, people are going to make sure if he was to win, he was to win. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I try not to get too spiritual on here, but you literally got to stay focused on what you got to do for you and your family. Real talk. It's not easy for people. There's a lot of people that look at the news and they're just like, wow, what in the world? But let's continue.
Quarters of voters feel dissatisfied or angry about the way things are going in the country today. Another debate among Democrats: did Harris distance herself enough from President Biden, or instead spend too much time attacking former President Trump?
Didn't I say that?
Is even more unstable.
Didn't I say that? Didn't I tell y'all she was spending 50 to 60% talking about him? I told y'all that. Now, if the news is saying that, this is NBC. Huh, I'm just a small YouTuber. I told y'all that. Let's continue to listen. Fair use. Reaction video. Thanks for being here, everyone. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before and where you're watching from. Let's continue.
And more unhinged. And now he wants unchecked power.
And did her campaign bank too much on abortion rights, driving up turnout?
It is a fight for freedom, like the fundamental freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body.
According to NBC News exit polls, just 14% of voters ranked abortion as their top issue. All the more devastating for Harris supporters, 8 years after Hillary Clinton's loss.
I'm disappointed. I would have liked to seen a woman get the presidency.
I have no answers, no words. I'm just disappointed in us as a nation.
Harris's concession speech urging supporters to unify behind the Constitution, if not the president-elect.
Now I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we must accept the results of this election.
Our thanks to Gabe for that report. A day after the presidential election, it is still not clear who's going to be in control of Congress, while Republicans flip enough seats.
Like the video, like the video. Thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate it. Please don't forget to subscribe to the page. Fair use, reaction video.
To take the Senate, Democrats are still hoping to eke out a victory in the House of Representatives. Orion Nobles explains the stakes.
Votes are still being counted, but Republicans could still have a path that leads to complete control of Congress. In the Senate, the GOP took advantage of a map where Democrats were forced to defend 8 competitive seats to notch wins in West Virginia, Ohio, and Montana.
You are the people that we have to make this economy work for again.
Knocking out long-term incumbents John Tester and Sherrod Brown.
We believe if you love this country, you fight for the people who make it work. We always will.
A bright spot for Democrats, Tammy Baldwin, who won re-election in Wisconsin, and Alyssa Slotkin, who took Michigan. Right now, the size of the majority for Republicans, though, is the only open question. In the House, Democrats are clinging to hope they can retake the lower chamber. Going into election night, Republicans held a small 8-seat majority and were able to hold seats in places like Pennsylvania while losing seats in New York. Still, Republicans feel confident.
We believe in the ideas of faith and family and freedom, and we're trying to live that out every day.
More than half a dozen seats are too close to call, but Democrats would need to run the table in places like California and Arizona to take power. The final result will have a major impact on the agenda of the new incoming Trump administration.
Yes, it
Republicans
will.
control both the House and Senate. Trump will have a much easier time moving legislation through Congress. But the size of those majorities will play a big role as well, with Republicans already sending the message that the mandate Trump earned on election night will loom large.
People were just not happy with this administration, and the Democratic nominee obviously was a part of it.
And our thanks to Ryan for that report. 10 states put abortion on the ballot this election cycle, with the measures passing in 7 of them. That includes Arizona and Missouri, where voters overturned strict bans to...
Like the video. And we definitely have to see what these next 200 days look like. It's important to see what it's going to look like. Let's continue. Fair use. Reaction video.
expand abortion access until fetal viability, roughly around 24 weeks. Arizona previously had a 15-week ban in place, and Missouri a near total ban. But a different story in Florida, although a majority of voters wanted to overturn the state's 6-week ban.
I'm gonna fast forward it.
This playlist. Those voters shot up. And so particularly what I would say is in rural areas and counties across the country, you saw an uptick for him. But the most glaring, of course, on a percentage basis difference was what you saw him do with Latino voters, and particularly with Latino men. Latino men have long favored Democratic candidates. Donald Trump won 55% of them. Latino voters overall, you saw Trump lose them overall. He lost Latino women, but his percentage of the Latino vote, 45%, is the highest in memory for a Republican candidate. So a lot going on there, and of course a little bit of an uptick also with African Americans.
John, it was so great to have you with us, and we appreciated you spending 4 live hours across the morning with us. Let's talk now on the Democratic side. After a loss, some finger-pointing starts, a blame game sort of, and a lot happened here for Democrats that was objectively not good news. I mean, they lost support among a lot of key demographics, a lot of key voting groups. They also lost control of the Senate. Where does the Democratic Party go from here? What happens next as they try to find a path forward?
Yeah, so then I think what you're getting at there is a total butt kicking. So where they go is to lick their wounds a little bit and try to process what it is that they didn't do right. Now, in historical context, you look at this election and say, in the recent elections, you're talking about a significant shift, a decisive victory for Donald Trump in the broader history of elections. We still have pretty tight, closely contested elections, even this one. Where the battlegrounds will, 4 of them have already gone to Trump. Could be that he ends up getting all 7 of them, but by relatively thin margins, a couple points here, a couple points there. And so, I think what the Democrats are going to try to do, should probably try to do, is figure out why their message isn't resonating, not just to get them to the 50% level in these swing states, but what is it that they can do to really appeal to Americans more broadly and try to get a more lasting majority the next time they have the presidency, the next time they have the Senate. And of course, the House hasn't been called yet, but they are facing an uphill battle to get the House right now.
So, John, there are still votes being counted out there, especially out west, where mail-in voting is a big deal. So we'll get some time before we get to the final total. But you mentioned this. So far, it appears far fewer people voted in this election by millions and millions. Let's look at the latest total. Vice President Harris has more than 67 million votes. That is down from the 81 million who voted for Joe Biden in 2020.
Just imagine those numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Even former President Trump, now President-elect Trump, he's not quite at the numbers he reached 4 years ago when he lost. We'll see if he ends up there. What should we read into that?
It's a great question, Joe, and I think political scientists will be looking at it over the course of the next couple of years, for all the reasons. My biggest hypothesis is sort of two-pronged. One is the last time we had an election in 2020, there was a massive increase in voting from 2016, and so I don't think we should have expected that we were going to see the same kind of turnout. You saw, I think the Democrats got a 24% increase in their raw vote total from 2016 to 2020. The Republicans was more like 17%. You never see anything like that. So why did that happen back then? I think for the most part, because people didn't have anything else to do. Everybody was sitting at home. People were angry about the pandemic, whether they were angry about people dying or the economy shutting down or both of those things. There was a lot of anger in the electorate, a lot of pent-up anger, and there weren't a lot of things for people to do. There was a facility of voting in terms of the ability to vote early, vote by mail. And I think in this election, number one, you didn't have those factors. Number two, people are sick of these political parties. There's a lot of anger in the country about that. And so I think some voters who voted last time thinking they might make some sort of permanent or lasting change had gotten fed up with it by the time this election rolled around.
John Allen, thank you so much. Great to see you again. Well, NBC News.
Yes, hit the like button. Thanks for being here, everyone. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 33K. We're trying to get to 33K. I went late a little bit. Let's see. Did that change? Yeah, I went late a little bit today, but like the video. Let's continue.
How did I get here?
Yeah, about.
No, we haven't talked about that. Those are decisions they'll start working through right now.
And the world's richest man, now a close confidant.
I'm saying only Elon can do this. It must be an Elon.
Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, poised to advise Mr. Trump on how to overhaul parts of federal government.
We'll have a new position, Secretary of Cost Cutting, okay? Elon wants to do that.
And anti-vaccine conspiracy theorist Robert F. Kennedy Jr. could end up overseeing health agencies.
I'm going to let him go wild on health. I'm going to let him go wild on the food. I'm going to let him go wild on medicines. I'm not going to take away anybody's vaccines.
Kennedy, with NBC's Vaughn Hilliard, laying out his potential plan for the FDA.
In some categories of workers, there are entire departments, like the nutrition departments at FDA, that have to go, that are not doing their job. They're not protecting our kids.
NBC News has reached out to Musk about a possible advisory role. No response yet. With a caveat here as we talk transition, as always, nothing is final on any cabinet position until it's announced by Mr. Trump himself. We should also note that when it comes to military positions, multiple sources say the expectation at the Pentagon is that whoever ends up the new defense secretary would implement what one Trump ally described as a purge across the board there, replacing military officials with generals that Mr. Trump believes would be more aligned with his goals. Back to you.
All right, Hallie, thank you.
Well, President Biden will address Americans later this morning as he prepares to make way for a new administration. It all comes.
And we just heard Biden speak. We heard Kamala's, some of her speech. But like the video, like the video. Thanks for being here, everyone. We're talking hot topics, trending topics. Kind of a little laid back today. Just a little bit. But yeah, let's get to it. Fair use reaction video. Just updating you guys on some situations. I'm not going to be doing the people screaming. What is that going to get me? You can go to other pages to kind of listen to that. But I get that people want to state their opinion. But I'd rather stay on topic and focus on what the future looks like and stuff like that. So I get everybody has their opinions. Celebrities are speaking out. People are speaking out and they're surprised. And they have a right. Some people do it for clickbait. Some people do it to trend. You know, nothing's going on with them, or they have an album coming out, or they got a new song coming out, or, you know, sometimes they'll say stuff just to get a little attention on them. We want to stay focused on the topic of. So let's continue.
Democrats try to figure out what went wrong. NBC News senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez has more on how the Biden camp is getting ready for the transition.
It's not laid back in the chat, and I'm just ignoring it, girl. I'm gonna ignore it today because I'm just physically, mentally, I ain't even got time for it. So I'm gonna just ignore the chat. Y'all be kind in the comments. Be kind. And see, this is probably why I don't do a lot of politics, because I get people are emotional. They're concerned about their children. They're concerned about their family. We get it. I say laid back because I'm laid back in regards to this topic, because people do get emotional. Trust me. When I say my friends, they were arguing, fussing. I ain't got time. Let's go back in the backyard, ladies. I get it, because it is our current situation. It's our children's, future. There's a lot going on, y'all, and a lot needs to happen. If Joe would have been okay, and we understand he's getting older. It's not his fault that he's getting older. But there's just a lot going on. And it's a very serious situation. I'm just saying this is a little laid back for me. Oh, I do not sound like no Kamala. You got me twisted. You must be new. I don't have no problem timing you out for 24 hours. Yeah, that's not even close to. Yeah. Yeah, so, I did a lot this morning. We're just, we're talking hot topics, trending topics. And I get why people are so emotional. This affects their families. And people are physically, mentally drained from things being the way that they are. They want to change. They're seeking a change. And that's what they're seeking. So I get it.
Front power.
President Biden is planning to deliver remarks about the upcoming
Yeah, I see you, Paris. I see you.
Transition later today from the Rose Garden, and he's expected to stress the importance of a smooth transfer of power and working to bring the country together. This morning, for Democrats, Vice President Harris's resounding defeat is still sinking in.
While I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
The Vice President's concession speech at her alma mater, Howard University, moving her running mate Tim Walz and some supporters to tears.
Hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright. As long as we never give up, and as long as we keep fighting.
It was a brief but historic campaign. Harris taking over the Democratic ticket barely 3 months ago. President Biden releasing a written statement calling her a tremendous partner, both saying they'd help with the transition.
A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results.
But within the Democratic Party, a difficult post-mortem is already underway.
Democrats have to do some real soul-searching. We can't just go in and talk to people a month before the election and take them for granted. A lot of people are tired of being taken for granted.
Yeah.
Exit polls show 3/4 of voters felt dissatisfied horrified or angry about the way things are going in the country today.
See?
Independent Senator Joe Manchin saying Trump and Republicans appealed to centrist voters.
But that's the middle. The power of the middle is unbelievable. I just hope when they get to Washington, they remember how they got there.
Some Democrats urging the party to move to the center, like New York Congressman Richie Torres, who posted Donald Trump has no greater friend than the far left, which has managed to alienate historic numbers of Latinos, blacks, Asians, and Jews from the Democratic Party with absurdities like defund the police or from the river to the sea or Latinx. President-elect Trump dominated the vote with working class.
And don't get it twisted. I did not ignore when Trump had that guy on the stage making those jokes. That wasn't okay. He should have knew what that guy's material was going to be. You talk about watermelon, you talk about Puerto Rico, you're talking about, you know, your friend in the audience. You know, some stuff is not acceptable. We see it. If you know, then you know. So a lot of us aren't ignoring stuff that Trump did. We're not ignoring stuff that Harris did. We're not ignoring none of that. I just know things need to get better. Real talk.
Americans and those without a college education, while Vermont Senator and former presidential candidate Bernie Sanders blasted Democratic leadership, writing it should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party which has abandoned working class people would find that the working class has abandoned them. Democrats are doing a lot of soul searching right now. Some say the Harris campaign and the Biden administration turned to immigration too late in the race. And some are also second guessing the vice presidential pick of Tim Walz.
Do y'all think that they didn't pay too much attention to the immigration situation? Do y'all think they waited a little too late? Y'all let me know in the comments. Let's continue.
And where the Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro might have helped deliver that key battleground, even though she may end up losing every swing state. Still, many in the party are asking a deeper question of how Trump was able to win over so much of what was once their core base of support among minority communities.
How did he get it?
Thank you so much for that report. Well, President Biden is expected to address the nation at 11 a.m. Eastern from the Rose Garden.
Republicans have captured the majority.
That person said, deport them all. Ooh-wee. Okay, I see what you're saying, Paris. I know people are like, why is she paying attention to Paris and not us? Paris has been with me from day one. She a true one. Paris is a member. If there's memberships that's over there, super chats are welcome. You need me to read something, say something, you can send a $1.99 super chat. You can send a $5.99 super chat. I'll address it. But Paris has been here from day one. So I know people are in the comments like, why is she only focusing on Paris? Because Paris has been here. And Paris know when I'm on one, I'm on one. We'll just bring you some information. And hopefully everybody gonna be okay. You know, we got to get through this together. So when I say slang stuff, Paris know. When I say I'm on one, she know. She know. There's a lot going on, y'all. And I keep saying it. There's just a lot going on. And there's a lot that needs to happen in these 200 days. There are people that's receiving food, money on their food stamp card. There's people that's receiving cash on their cards. And you got neighbors and neighbors that's struggling just to get, $100 worth of groceries. Man.
In the Senate, but this morning we're still waiting to see which party will control the House, with votes still being counted in dozens of states. NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles has more.
Overall, it was not a great night for Democrats on election night, but as the votes continued to roll in, there were some bright spots, and a path remains for them to take control of the House. But even though Democrats will have a voice, Republicans will be running the show.
Congress is going to look a lot different next year. For the first time in 4
Yes,
years,
it is.
Republicans are poised to take control of the Senate, flipping Democratic seats in Montana, Ohio, and West Virginia, while holding the state of Texas.
The results tonight, this decisive victory, should shake the Democrat establishment to its core.
But while their victories have guaranteed a majority, Democrats were able to limit the losses by picking up wins in blue wall states Donald Trump won. Incumbent Tammy Baldwin survived in Wisconsin, and Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin held on to an open seat in Michigan.
Tens of thousands of Michiganders voted for Donald Trump and Alyssa Slotkin on the same ballot. And it is my responsibility to get things done for Michiganders, no matter who's in office.
In the House, the picture is less clear. A couple dozen seats remain uncalled, and Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, who would be the first black speaker of the House should Democrats take the majority, arguing the House is still very much in play, and adding we must count every vote. But the remaining map favors Republicans, and the current House Speaker Mike Johnson expressed confidence he would keep his job.
We're going to have enough numbers to run the agenda through the House and the Senate, and President Trump is going to be a transformational president.
But no matter what, the margins will be tight, and Democrats are already vowing to keep a check on the new administration at every turn. Even though the counting is still ongoing, the new Congress plans to organize quickly. Both the House and Senate preparing to begin their leadership elections as soon as next week. Back to you.
Ryan, thank you.
Well, this
Some good information this morning, y'all. Ooh, I'm glad I found it. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes. Okay. So today was going to be a short video. Some stuff I got to still take care of. I had to come on live. The biggest thing is keep hitting the like button. Double tap the screen. Hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video. I love my friends, but I have to take care of business always too. Yeah, people are getting... I saw a receipt and I literally stopped the video. I saw a receipt from my TV. I took a picture of it. And I was like, they're getting what? And I told y'all, like 3 weeks ago, I was shopping, getting stuff for my house and a friend's house. And a young girl was trying to use her Cash App Pay, where she was using her phone to try and tap it and pay for her items. And it didn't go through. And I didn't understand that. So then the cashier, I'm real cool with a lot of people where I shop at. Always try and tell them, have a great day. You look nice today. And the lady couldn't use it. So the lady was nice enough to tell her go outside. Maybe it's the signal. She came back in. We all waiting patiently. Came back in. It didn't work. So another friend of mine needed something. I had to go to another store. I saw that same lady trying to buy something in that store and it didn't go through. I was like, well, what's going on with her money? What's going on with her car? So since I was already helping somebody else, if I would have had an extra 10 on me, I probably would have gave it to her because it was her son. But I ain't have an extra 10 on me. And I said, whenever I go out, if I have the singles or if I have extra, I'll try and help people out. Because I'm thinking she trying really hard to get whatever she needs. And for some odd reason, her pay stuff is not working. So I don't know if she's a part of that. You know, the government sending her cash or her man's check didn't go through. I don't know. But when I went back to the first store, she was like, she come in here a lot and her card don't go through. And then when I went to the next store, the second store, the guy says she always coming in here. Her stuff don't go through. And I don't know if they're telling us she do that for people to help her. I don't know. You know. That's a possibility. Oh, you're having a hard time here. So I don't know. But, you know, I was kind of like, you know, wishing her well. But they often say her car don't go through. So it might be a play on words. Yeah, it might be a huge scam. So I do watch out for that, though. You know what I'm saying? Because for her to go to the first one didn't work. The second one didn't work. And then they said she keep coming back and it don't often work. So, you know, you got to kind of watch out for people to whereas, you know, but... Who's to say it wasn't the government money sending her money and it just didn't go through on her card? I don't think you could use it from your phone. You would think that it would be like the food stamp card, wouldn't it? Wouldn't the cash and the food be on the one card? But I don't know how that works. So don't get me to line. But yes, everyone, we were just doing a quick video talking a little bit of politics. I'll probably get back into hot topics, trending topics tomorrow. But since there's stuff that's going on, you know, I had to update you guys. I might play that clip again about the New York Attorney General. People are just now coming in and they probably didn't catch that. I only caught it because I was in my car waiting on something. Let me go back. The New York Attorney General. She went in. Yeah.
Lastly, I congratulate the President-elect Donald Trump. And if possible, we will work with his administration.
New York Attorney General speaking.
But we will not compromise our values or our integrity or our principles. We did not expect this result, but we are prepared to respond to this result. And my office has been preparing for several months because we've been here before. We faced this challenge before, and we used the rule of law to fight back. And we are prepared to fight back once again. Because as the Attorney General of this great state, it is my job to protect and defend the rights of New Yorkers and the rule of law. and I will not shrink from that responsibility. And lastly, I congratulate the President-elect Donald Trump.
Like I said, that's the New York Attorney General. We know Trump has his own legal issues. What's going to transpire regarding that? I'll keep an eye on it. So later on today, might do hot topics, trending topics. Let me see if Barack or Michelle made a statement. Some comedians are kind of responding. There was a young girl that spoke about Kamala's speech. I think that was on the phone I'm on. Let me see. Hold on one second. Tamar Braxton respond. She mad at the country. Then she starts singing a song. I'm not going to play that. Let me go over here. Hold on one second. And there's a lot of information out there, y'all. A lot of pages don't catch everything. We just don't catch everything. We catch a lot though, but while I look this up, I'm going to let y'all continue to listen to him. Hold on.
U.S. stock markets are poised to open slightly higher ahead of the Federal Reserve's upcoming interest rate decision.
It all comes after three major stock markets surged to record highs on Wednesday following Mr. Trump's election win.
NBC News senior business correspondent Christine Romans joins us to explain all this. Hey, Christine, good morning. So walk us through just how happy Wall Street was about this and why. Is it Trump? Is it that the election's over? What is it?
Exactly. I'm so glad you brought that up. There's now just no uncertainty about what's going on, and markets hate uncertainty. There had been a feeling that maybe you could have days or weeks of legal challenges and uncertainty with just how a photo finish this election was going to be. So that's one reason. The other reason is there are a couple of pillars of his economic plans, or his proposed, what he said he will do about the economy, that Wall Street loves. Cutting taxes. That means companies have a lower tax bill. That means they make more money. What happens to their money? Well, they give it back to shareholders, and that's the stock market, right? The other thing is deregulation, much more deregulation, especially for small cap stocks. So small companies, they really had a good day yesterday. Why? Well, when you cut regulation, that's a big expense for small companies. When they have fewer regulations about the environment or about labor or about the things that they're doing in their business, then they make more money. So this is about companies making more money. That is what Wall Street reflects.
Let's talk more about Trump's economic plans and what it would mean not for Wall Street, but for everyday Americans.
Sure.
What impact could it have on them?
And it also could have an impact on Wall Street as well. Right now, Wall Street is ignoring mass deportations. That he has promised that will be something he will do very, very early in his second tenure. So that's something that could hurt construction and could hurt farming. He does want tax cuts, though. So we have his 2017 tax cuts expire in 2025. So Congress and the president will have to come up with a new tax strategy. He wants to cut taxes for companies. Again, good for Wall Street, but also make sure that those middle class tax cuts that he put in before stay in. Another couple of taxes he promised on the campaign trail, but hasn't said how he would pay for them. Social Security beneficiaries who pay taxes on those benefits, he would get rid of those taxes. And also tipped workers. He would say that for people who have a tipped wage, you wouldn't have to pay taxes on those tips. Some tipped workers say they'd rather just have a higher minimum wage and not be in that whole tipped wage world, especially since because of inflation, so many people are tired of being asked to tip everywhere.
Yep.
So tipped wage workers are really in a tough spot. Many of them would rather not have tip-free wages, but have just a higher overall wage.
Higher wage.
Less, it seems like recently.
Yeah, they really are. And in some cases, you have tip wage workers who are working in restaurants that now are doing a lot of counter service, and people are tired of being asked all the time, every time you turn around to tip.
I will say, though, on the trail, young voters, like in college towns, that are in those.
Yep.
Not that the people don't deserve that tip, though, but sometimes people are struggling to get food, get groceries, and it's like, wow, but you gotta tip something. Depending on the amount of the food, $100, $25, whatever, $15, whatever, $10. And then if it's a small amount, if people are struggling, they're having a hard time even trying to tip. You know what I mean? But they should. So people are seeking higher wages for those people. And then I'm hearing, and I never knew that, sometimes when people work at restaurants, they have to share their tip with people, the busboys and all that. I didn't know that. I've never worked in that part of the industry. Not going to really go into that, but yeah. But, like I said, people are struggling. So it's kind of like, yeah, we want this food. We want this $20, $25 order. And it's like, you should do the $10. But it's like, okay, some people are saying that's not gas. Or that's gas to get through tomorrow. Or that's food for tomorrow. So if people start getting more money, they could do what they need to do. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Amazing how reading comments on politics, you really... Yeah, it's interesting. And I get that some people, let's see. Yeah, 25%. Yeah, if you, or you shouldn't go out. That's right. That's right, Paris. You are like my YouTube sister. Let's continue, y'all. Thanks for being here, everyone. Everyone say hello to Paris. She's a member. If you want a membership, they're over there. If you want to send in super chats, you're welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Let's get the likes to 50. Let's continue.
Roles working at a restaurant, I heard so much about how they loved his no tax on tips plan. So it did stick in terms of messaging. Exactly. And it shows you how many people are living paycheck to paycheck, where a few dollars really, really matters. When we saw all of those exit polls yesterday, guys, I mean, you really have a huge number of Americans who think they are living in an inflation hellscape. I mean, they really do. We asked people, are you worse off today? 46% of people said they were worse off today. That's the highest number in NBC News exit polling going back decades. Oh. So that's a big, big number. So inflation really wore people down. And that is now the president-elect has said he would end inflation right away. We know that inflation is now about 2.4%, and the Fed is expected.
Price gouging is a concern too. Remember how when we did the video when people were struggling within the hurricane about a month ago, and they were saying some of the hotels were raising the prices of the hotel for people to stay in? That's crazy. Some of these people were using their savings to get away from the hurricane, several cities over, and it's like they were spending so much money in hotels, but at least they were safe. But they shouldn't be price gouging. That's a concern too with hotels. You get one rate during the week, then it's another rate on the weekend. And have y'all ever noticed with hotels, you check in around 3, 2 or 3. It used to be you could check in at 12. Now you're checking in later, and then you still got to check out at 11 or 12, mostly 12. But have you noticed that they stretch the hours longer? Probably because they're probably having a concern with people cleaning the rooms, and it's taking them longer. I used to have a family member do housekeeping, and they used to have to be there at 5 or 6, clean the rooms if people checked out early because they're traveling. And they would try and have all the rooms cleaned by 12. So then that way people can check in, and then at least you have so many rooms already cleaned. But now people checking in at 2 or 3. Some you could do an early check-in depending on what you go through. But yeah, people are complaining about that too. And I get it. It's like, if you're traveling, who wants to check in at 2 or 3 if you're getting there early? And some you can only do it early. Some are flexible in regards to early check-in. But yeah, that's interesting in itself.
To cut interest rates today because it has been making progress on inflation. Let's talk about what we could see today and how plans maybe for future cuts are impacted now that we know who the president is. I don't think knowing who the president is changes the strategy of the Fed at the moment. The Fed is watching how inflation is doing and how the economy is doing. The economy has been doing well. And I know that those people who were voting yesterday didn't believe that, or 2 days ago didn't believe that, but the economy has been doing well. It's almost 3% economic growth. So the Fed has to be careful about not cutting interest rates too much. Otherwise, you could have inflation come back. So it's the Fed that is really the architect of getting inflation under control, less the White House, unless this is a White House that is spending, cutting taxes. That could be inflationary too. And also
tariffs too, right?
Exactly. Thank you so much. Tariffs could be inflationary, especially for those young workers you're talking about. When you have tariffs on 10% on everything, 60% on Chinese imports, those are disproportionately borne by lower income people because prices go up for things that they buy. Christina, I have a feeling you're headed right out of here into a train or something like that. I'm going to finish.
So I appreciate you guys for being here. I do. I hope I was able to bring a lot of good information. Always be kind in the comments. YouTube has no problem deleting comments. They don't. So wishing Biden well, wishing Harris well. Let's see what Trump does in these next 200 days, next 4 years. Let's see what happens. But I hope everyone have a great day. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. So let's go to the disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. I might actually do a quick hot topics, trending topics. Let me see. Do I have that? Let me see. Yeah, I may have to do some Diddy stuff later, But I guess there's some concerns with DDG and Hallie. But I do want to play the Stephen A. Smith though.
I was surprised at how lopsided it was. I was not surprised by the outcome. Right. I saw the outcome coming from a mile away. You have to take into account, listen, we respect our president, Joe Biden, but here's the reality. He got into office. He promised to be a transitional president, to be a stopgap to pave the way for somebody else to come on board. Into the midterms, it was supposed to be a red wave. It did not happen. The Democrats was flying high. He felt the momentum because he was the incumbent. And instead of leaving, he decided to stay. Yeah. When he decided to stay, the Democrats were in a quandary because they were expecting him to leave. Now he wants to stay. They're around him. They're seeing the fastball has dissipated to some degree. They're seeing that he's not what he used to be. And what do you do about it? You grease the skids. There's no primary for him to experience. You let him go on stage June 27th, and clearly he was exposed. 3.5 weeks later, he's forced and compelled to step away because donors to the Democratic establishment, they were not going to support that. And then Kamala Harris is inserted. I don't blame her one bit. Same. I thought she did a phenomenal job. Yep. She went all out. She did what she could. But you can't overcome that kind of situation. And remember, there's 2 C words that are incredibly important in America. Capitalism is one. Competition is another. Because it's a metaphor for capitalism in a lot of people's eyes. Because you were inserted, even though you were the vice president and it was the Biden-Harris administration, you had folks who are independent. I'm not talking about those on the right. I'm not talking about those on the left, just independents, who said, wait a minute. She didn't experience a primary either. And the last time we saw her in a primary was 4 years ago. And she didn't even make it to Iowa. They used that as an excuse to point to her level of inexperience. Then you got the war in Russia and Ukraine. You got the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Hamas and Hezbollah and all of that stuff. And you had Trump using codes. Look, do you want her? Where is she? Where's the interviews? Where's she showing herself? Where's the tough questions? Where's the interrogation? And he leaned on certain things. And you knew people were going to gravitate to that because right now, as divided as our country is, fear comes associated with that. And because that fear was there, he fed off of it. Yeah. And people bought it, hook, line, and sinker. And that's why he's the president.
Yep.
I was surprised.
He said, yep. That's all I gotta say. Okay, trending topics, hot topics. Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck, Ben calling her spectacular. As y'all know, Jennifer Lopez and Ben are going through divorce. Yep. Who is she dating next? Rosie Perez talked about introducing Madonna to Tupac. That's going to be interesting because if you guys did not know, Tupac's family is, and they've hired a lawyer to look into the link between Diddy and Tupac. So Rosie Perez is speaking about Tupac and introducing Madonna. Earlier, like I said, Canada government orders TikTok to shut down local offices in the country. We talked about that. We're just doing some quick hot topics, trending topics. I'll have to check into that. Ooh-wee. Yeah, it's being reported Elon Musk's daughter is saying she's leaving the U.S. after Trump presidential win. It's being reported Joe Biden congratulates Donald Trump and invited him to the White House. He coming. He coming, Joe. He coming, Joe. Ooh-wee. It's also being reported that Barack and Michelle congratulated Donald Trump. And a lot of people were saying that's not what they hoped for. I did do a short on Amber Rose and Ray J hanging together. Have you ever noticed Ray J is always in the midst of? Remember how Amber Rose was trending over the last 2 months? Her support in regards to Trump. And now, Ray J's having issues with the Combs sons. I don't want to call them boys. Ray J's having concerns with the Combs sons they were at an event, and then, they tried to, have an altercation with Ray J, and the Ray J kind of spoke out, and he was trending about that last week. Now he's with Amber Rose, which is cool. They cool friends. I think they did College Hill together, so I get it. But yeah, I did a short in regards to Ray J and Amber Rose. Yep, 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 yep. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Tamar Braxton spoke out. Not gonna play that. I think Stephen A. explained it. Many people were surprised. They fed into what he was doing, saying where's she at, where's she at? Because remember there was a dinner. He was there. She didn't come. He had a few jokes. Now they're saying, and I'll go deeper into this. They're basically saying Diddy's alleged FO NDA is just a standard NDA. So I'll get into more of that because we have been speaking about that, of why many celebrities are not speaking out. I think it was because of the NDA. If you did not know, because I posted this on my short, Diddy's son is going to be taking over Diddy's Instagram. He's going to start trying to post more positive items and more positive things. If you did not notice, when Diddy broke his silence and he was speaking to his children from jail for his birthday, he had noticed the media was posting about the children and the daughter, how cute she sound. He was like, okay, I got to do something to switch this up. Let my son start posting more positive things about me. And even if I can get 5 to 10% of some of that positivity, let me go ahead and do that. Some people felt a way about his son taking over his Instagram. They need some kind of positive media attention. We already talked about this. Let me see. Let me see if this is another clip.
And expect this result.
We already did that. That was the Attorney General from New York speaking out. We're just doing some quick hot topics, trending topics. Thanks for being here, everyone. That keeps popping up too. The Simpsons. If y'all know, then you know. Hallie and DDG. Hallie had an issue where DDG went on Kai Cenat's show. I didn't really care for how DDG had the baby in the bag though, because it don't look like the feet was able to come out the bag. It looked like he just had his child in a bag and his feet might have been a little crunched. That's the part. You know, DDG's gonna go on Kai Cenat trending. Okay, he broke up with Haley, whatever her name is. So we get that, he wants to kind of hang out with guys his age now because he's a young dad. And then, him and him and Haley been going back and forth. And then allegedly Haley says she overreacted. He's a dad. Let him spend time with his child. Some women can't get the father to pick the child up once or twice a month. He has like every other weekend. Some fathers don't do that. It's a concern. There's women, it takes a village, and there's some dads out there that say, I don't care about you and your village. I don't care about you working. I'm going to do me. I'm going to hang out with my girlfriend. We're going to live our life. And there's dads that's out there that women want things done a certain way. Guys want things done a certain way. They don't want their sons to be a certain way. Women don't want their sons to be a certain way. Women don't want their daughters to be a certain way. And you got to realize, people are brought up different in different homes. So you got to be careful who you have a baby by. Because sometimes your belief isn't their beliefs. Sometimes what their thoughts and feelings are about bringing up a child, some may say, let him run around with no shoes. Let him run around just to pamper. Women are like, no, he needs something on his feet. So that way his feet will grow properly, so he'll have a proper arch. He needs clothes on. Somebody could just stop by the house. Women are think different. You got to be careful who you have children by. And when you're thinking about having children, you got to speak about thoughts, beliefs, clothes, shoes, school, everything. Friends, religion. You really got to sit down and talk with a person. But sometimes people don't do that. And then they get a person that's a nightmare to have children with. Nightmare. Guys have to be forced to pay child support. Some men are paying 800, 1,000, 2,000. Some men, by their income, are paying like $50 a month. And then they feel like, oh, the woman's going to use that 50 to get her hair or nails done. Sir, The woman's keeping a roof over your child's head. So if her rent is $1,000, you sending 50, that's groceries, sir. That doesn't even cover the daycare, sir. That doesn't even cover the travel. If it's $50, that just covers the travel to the daycare. But there's still a daycare cost. So if you don't want to pay the daycare, do you want to help with the child? And you be the father, and then I'll go to work, and then after I get off work, I can pick the child. But then the father said, no, you figured the daycare out too. And there's some dads that help with daycare. There's some dads that help with paying the woman's rent halfway. There are men that are out there that are really making sure their children are provided for. And there's some men that just don't care. Sad but true. So, Hallie DDG was going back and forth for a few days, and then I just saw a post before I went live that she said she might have overreacted, because I guess maybe people were in the comments maybe saying, "Girl, he trying to spend time with his child," and we know in regards to Keke Palmer, her and her baby daddy situation, that was interesting. So just be careful, ladies, who you have men by babies by. If you did not know, T.I. and Tiny are demanding payments from their ex-friend, Sabrina. I think there was, let's see, I think there was concern. I don't know if it was like a default judgment or she didn't show up for court or something. Something's going on in regards to T.I. and Tiny. Yeah. Yeah, that whole situation, that was a lot. Because, a lot of people really like T.I. and Tiny. We already talked about the Attorney General. The New York Attorney General, that's kind of trending right now. 5 hours ago, Jasmine Brand posted it. We just talked about Ray J and Amber Rose. Kamala Harris, if y'all want to hear her speak again, we'll do that. She did break her silence. Cardi B did speak to everyone regarding her beliefs in regards to how she felt. I did do a short regarding that. I'll be trying to stay on my shorts, y'all. Even if I can't go live. Even if I can't go live, I do be trying to post the shorts when I can. Like I said, my family don't play. Because my phone be ringing off the hook and people be needing stuff, so I have to kind of balance stuff. I be doing it as best as I can. Yeah. Yeah. Trying to see if there's anything else. Oh, I gotta save that. And like we said, in regards to these celebrities, some of these celebrities in their situations are going to shock you. Let's go ahead and go with the Stephen A thing again, and then we'll probably fall.
At how lopsided it was. I was not surprised by the outcome.
Because more and more people are coming in.
From a mile away. You have to take into account, listen, we respect our president, Joe Biden, but here's the reality. He got into office. He promised to be a transitional president, to be a stopgap to pave the way for somebody else to come on board. Into the midterms, it was supposed to be a red wave. It did not happen. The Democrats was flying high. He felt the momentum because he was the incumbent. And instead of leaving, he decided to stay. When he decided to stay, the Democrats were in a quandary because they were expecting him to leave. Now he wants to stay. They're around him. They're seeing the fastball has dissipated to some degree. They're seeing that he's not what he used to be. And what do you do about it? You grease the skids. There's no primary for him to experience. You let him go on stage June 27th, and clearly he was exposed. 3.5 weeks later, he's forced and compelled to step away because donors to the Democratic establishment, they were not going to support that. And then Kamala Harris is inserted. I don't blame her one bit. I thought she did a phenomenal job. Yep. She did what she could. But you can't overcome that kind of situation. And remember, there's 2 C words that are incredibly important in America. Capitalism is one. Competition is another. Because it's a metaphor for capitalism in a lot of people's eyes. Because you were inserted, even though you were the vice president, and it was the Biden-Harris administration, you had folks who are independent. I'm not talking about those on the right. I'm not talking about those on the left, just independents, who said, wait a minute. She didn't experience a primary either. And the last time we saw her in a primary was 4 years ago, and she didn't even make it to Iowa. They used that as an excuse to point to her level of inexperience. Then you got the war in Russia and Ukraine. You got the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Hamas and Hezbollah, and all of that stuff. And you had Trump using codes. Look, do you want her? Where is she? Where's the interviews? Where's she showing herself? Where's the tough questions? Where's the interrogation? And he leaned on certain things. And you knew people were going to gravitate to that because right now, as divided as our country is, fear comes associated with that. And because that fear was there, he fed off of it. Yeah. And people bought it, hook, line, and sinker. And that's why he's the president.
So there's that. Now, there's a guy named Piles. He's suing Gorilla, Megan Thee Stallion, and Soulja Boy. He states that they stole his song. I'm just not seeing that. For most of the morning, I didn't know what he was suing those people for. So I guess they stole his song. He also talked politics. Go check out my short regarding, his name is Piles. Yeah, go check out that video. Yeah, we already talked about that. I'm not going into that. Yeah, right now we're just talking trending topics, hot topics. You guys know I'll do a rapid trending topics, hot topics. That way I don't have to do a bunch of shorts that I don't need to do. If it's newsworthy, we'll talk about it, but yeah, Ray J has broke down, how he felt about Diddy's sons. I'm sure Diddy's kind of like trying to get his sons to stay busy. And that might be the reason why Christian is taking over Diddy's Instagram. Diddy has to do the best he can to keep his children busy. It was nice to hear him talk about how proud he is of his children. And like I said before, a judge jury will have to decide if Diddy has done any wrongdoing. He's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. There's just a lot going on there. Yeah. And like I said, I'm very cautious about naming the different tapes. People are calling Corey Burgess out, who allegedly has the book in regards to Kim Porter, whether that's the actual book and whether they're trying to sell something on Amazon. I've said it before. I think if they're going to be selling anything, it should go to Kim Porter's estate. I think the girls, which are the Diddy's twins, should be getting that money and receiving that money if that is legitimately Kim Porter's book. R.I.P. to Kim Porter. And like I always say too, praying for the alleged victims. Praying for the alleged victims. Let's see. If you've been here before, y'all know I'll do a rapid trending topics, hot topics so fast it'll blow your mind. Let me say, have a great day, Paris. Thanks for being here. Okay, so yeah, we just did the hot topics, trending topics. Everyone, thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the channel. I appreciate you all. Have a great day. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. When your friends come to you about concerns, take 2 or 3 minutes if you got it. Or take 5 minutes if you got it. There's some people that may be struggling mentally, physically, a little bit more than you know. And I would hate for somebody not to catch the signals that people are struggling. Tell them to contact their mom, contact their dad, talk with their brother, sister. Is there anybody you can go see, in regards to your health concerns? Tell them to get into, people are struggling. I hear it. And some people are doing great. This, the election stuff don't even affect them. It's not knocking on their door at all. But check on your friends. Some people that I'm coming in contact, there's a lot that's doing fine. They're great. Finances are great. Groceries, it's like, okay, this too shall pass. How high the prices are. But yeah, check on your friends, check on your family, and hopefully everyone's friends and families are doing well. And, it's nice to be kind. You never know what people are going through. Even if they're mean to you, just be like, that was a little disrespectful, but I know tomorrow you're going to do better. There's ways to talk to people. I just think some people may be struggling. Some people are fine. Their families are fine. There's dads that's out there supporting their children, supporting the mom. They're doing the best they can. They're tapping each other in and saying, okay, I got the baby, you got the baby. Okay, let's make this thing work. So that's what we're hoping for, a better future for ourselves and our children. So thanks for being here, everyone. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. I appreciate you all. Thank you, sister. You're a true woman. Thank you. And people say that you're a true woman of God. People say that a lot. People say that a lot. I literally had a guy friend of mine cry last month. And I remember their grandmother saying, she's been a good friend to you. Be kind to her. And there's things I don't tell you all the time. But, and he said that. I appreciate you, woman of God. I appreciate you. I don't often have men, because, you know, my man, he's secure and he knows. I'm like this. I'm so much like my mom and my dad. We give, and then, you know, we know how to take breaks. That's why last night I could have went live. I was enjoying some good stuff on Netflix. I was just relaxing, chilling. This morning I took a great walk. I could have went live, but I was busy too. But I said, okay, let me, it's so nice out. Let me just enjoy the sun. And then, you know, my time to go live is in the morning because I have family stuff and other stuff. But I appreciate that comment. I really do. The voice of reason. I appreciate you. I really do. Oh, don't cry. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You think I'm kind? My sister, she's a beautiful spirited woman. I learned from her, and we look alike too. Ooh, we look alike. Ooh, we look alike. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't really, you know, shade people, drag people. I don't cuss people out. You know, people come on, they have their comments. I don't really be like, what you da, da, da. I don't do all that. People are going through some stuff right now. And it takes, you know, a person that's kind, and everybody's different. That might just be their personality. So sometimes when people are telling their guests off, or their guests go off the show, and they're like, you know, I feel bad for the guests. They just came up there to, you know, help your channel, and here you are dogging them. There's pages I used to look at and listen to, and it's like, dang, I kind of lost a little respect for you. You know, they came up there, they took their time to give you information. And over here, even with the voting, I told people in the comments, vote for who you ever want to vote for. We're not going to shade you, drag you. You want to, you know, support Trump, support Trump. You want to support Kamala, support Kamala. Do you. You got to do what's best for you and your family. So I appreciate everyone in their kind comments. I do. I do. I do. You know, so yeah, it takes a lot to be this way, though. It takes a lot to be a giver and not a taker. I know a lot of takers, but I kind of take it with a grain of salt that sometimes if I help them get on their feet, then they should be good for a good 5 months, 6 months, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I'm wishing everyone well. You know, be kind to yourself. Sometimes, you know what? I tell people I have a shutdown spirit. If I need a break, I'll take it. If I need some peace and quiet, I'll take it. If I hear that something's going on, I'll listen, and then it's like, okay, I'm exhausted. How are you? Can you give me an hour or two? And if they say no, I say, okay, what's going on? I'm not like a consultant, because I'm not, but you know, I try and listen to people that have things that's going on. You know, you just don't want a call that, you know, so I do my best, and I do my best on here. You know, this is my personality. Other people have different personalities because that's how they were brought up. And we got to take it with a grain of salt. You accept them. You like their personality. You listen, you learn, and you move on. So I appreciate all the kind words. I do. Yeah. 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 And, you know, yeah. And this is the thing. I have some friends that have some rough edges about them. They're rough around the edges. And you would think, it's like, how are y'all friends? Because I kind of accept them where they are. I appreciate them for where they are. Right now, they're going through a few different things. It's because what they've been through. And it's like, hey, wait a minute. Hey. Wait a minute. I know what's going on. Let's, you know. I just got a friend, a coat. They needed a coat. They needed clothes for work. I got them some shoes like 2 months ago. I do a lot. Lady standing on the side of the road. She needed some groceries. I just came from the grocery store, gave her 2 of my bags. So I do what I can. I ain't perfect either. I'll tell somebody off. I will. Because there's some people that are disrespectful. And sometimes you got to check them where they at. I go to this one store. This lady's, she's mean to me all the time. She'll say the oddest stuff, and I ignore it most of the time. But then sometimes it's like, look, I'm not in the mood for that today. I just, so I'm not perfect either. I don't pretend to be. I have my flaws. I have my, days where it's just like, I'm not in the mood because I just need to re-energize myself. So I appreciate everyone, kind word, thoughtful words, and, we just got to just do our best to be as kind and loving and respectful to one another as we can. So wishing everyone well. Have a great day. Be a blessing to somebody if you can. And if it's just not in your spirit because you don't have the energy or the fuel, you might have to tell them to contact somebody to kind of give them what they need, So, and there's different resources out there too. So I was helping one friend get a phone because their phone cracked, and they were trying to explain to them about this number and the bill and this and that. They were like, well, okay, can I just know? You got to call at the end of the month. It's like, are you listening? It was like, yes, I'm listening. Okay, here's the card. It's like, you making sure I got everything I need. So I try and be there for as many friends as I can, but, I have stuff too. But I appreciate everyone. Be kind, be respectful. Have a great day. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. And hopefully we'll see what happens in the next 200 days. Are you guys hopeful? And what's to come? Are you guys thinking that his legal issues might be an issue? We'll see. We'll see. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.